Carl, where's Ellen?
She's in the other room.
Ah, I saw her this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's reading.
Ah. You ladies did a good job reading.
Yes. Randy, you up for reading anything, or you're
Yeah, I have to. What verse you want me to do? Oh, yeah, to get the book. We're in a new book.
Yep. Beginning of the Maureen.
Take a look at the first reading. It's the opening of Deuteronomy.
Okay. To what verse? Verse 1 to what?
1, 2, and 3.
All right. What verse?
And Sandy, you'll do number 4.
Oh, it's got one of Ruth Ann's favorite.
Through 7.
Yeah. Number 2 is 4 through 7.
I thought that's what I said.
All I heard was 4.
Okay, and we're live on StreamSpot and on Facebook, and we've got a full minion.
I'm sorry, Jeffrey, what did you say?
I said we're live on Facebook and on the live stream at the Chizuk Amuno website, and we have a full minion.
Who davened Minhah last week? Sandy, I think you did, didn't you? You don't remember?
No, I didn't, but it's okay.
You didn't?
No.
Who davened last week?
Oh, no, it wasn't me.
I think we had a guest davener.
I don't think so. When was the last time you davened, Ruth Ann?
I don't know. A while ago. And I have your site.
Is it today and tonight?
It was last night and today.
All right, then you're wrong. What time do you have?
It's 8:16.
Okay. We've page 558. Ruth Ann is going to lead us joyfully.
Page.
558.
Thank you.
Ashrei yeshvei beitecha od yehalalucha selah.
Shem tegahalo, Hashem Shadonai Elohav.
V'hilala David, Aramimach Elohai HaMelech, Rabach Shimcha Le'olam Ba'ed.
Olim Avachaika, Shimcha Le'olam Ba'ed.
Adonai Im Halamed, V'ligdala Tewein Cheker.
Adar
Kavod Hodecha, V'divrei Miflotecha Sicha. Zecher Rav Tibecha Yabi, V'tzikatecha Yiranenu. Adonai Lakov, Rachamav Kol Masav. Kavod Malchutecha Yemeru, Gevuratecha Yedaberu. Malchutecha Malchuto Olamim, Memshaltecha B'chodor V'ador. Einecha Lecha Yisaberu, V'atana Ten Lehem Et Oklam B'iteho. Tzadik Adonai B'chol Dvaracha, V'chasid B'chol Ma'asav. Pretend you have Yaseh, V'yet Shavatam Yishma V'yoshiahem. Tehillah Adonai Edaber Pivi, V'areika B'sor Shem Kocho Le'olam V'ahed. V'anachnu Nevarech Yah, Me'atah V'yad Olam, Hallelujah, Evav L'Tzion.
L'Tzion, V'ashraf Hashem Adonai, V'anilu V'yetam Adonai, Uchi Asher Alecha, Dva'esam B'beficha Le'mid.
ויפתחו בך ידי שמך, כי לא עזבת דורשך אדוני. אדוני חפץ למען צדקו, יגדיל תרב יהדיר. יתגדל ויקדש שמי רבה. ימה דברה חירותי, וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וימיכון, בחיי לכל בית ישראל, בעגלה בזמן קריב ימרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך, לעולם עולם מעמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי לקדושה ברכו לעילא מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תשבחתה ונחמתה דאמירן בימה בימרו אמן.
We come to the Seder Hotza'at Torah. Ruth Ann, why don't you lead us in the Kimitzion, please?
Ki mitzion tetzei Torah. Ki mitzion tetzei Torah. Udevar Adonai Mirushalayim. Baruch Shenatan Torah Torah. Baruch Shenatan Torah Torah. Lamo Yisrael B'Hiddushata.
May be seated if you were standing. And we now turn to the Torah reading. We are reading the opening parsha in the book of Deuteronomy. Who can tell me what the word Deuteronomy means?
Second
Something,
something.
okay?
Words.
Anybody can tell, what does Deuteronomy mean?
Is it second telling?
I'm sorry, Bruce?
Telling.
Second telling. Somebody else?
Repetition.
Repetition, okay. Deutero is two, nomos is law. And the reason is because the 10 commandments are listed in the book of Deuteronomy and in the book of Exodus. So it's Deutero, second, nomos for law. So we learned a little something. What's so heart-wrenching, of course, is that we're at the gates of the destruction of the temple and estate. And we're not having regular aliyot because we're not at shul with a Sefer Torah. And so we make a bracha that is a generic, appropriate bracha. And let's all recite together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. Michael Novi, I barely recognize you. You look so prophetic, who just came down the mountaintop with a very auspicious. We can't hear a thing you're saying. You have to unmute.
I'm sorry. It's that I've been substantially quarantined for months.
My goodness. Well,
That's not unique, not unique.
I wasn't suggesting, but regardless, it's really very impressive, Michael, just to, you have your site today, Michael?
Yes, I do, for my father.
Okay.
It's ending the yard site.
Okay, so we'll do that. Is there somebody else who has your site today? Okay, well, we know Carl Love has. The first reading, Randy, are you ready, you think?
Yep.
Okay.
Amen. Ele hadvarim asher diber Moshe el kol Yisrael be'ever hayarden b'midbar ba'arava Suf, Bein Paran uvein Tofel, Velavan Bachatzerot, V'dei Zahav, Achad Atzar Yom Echoreb, Derech Har Seir, Ad Kadesh Barneah. Vayehi be'arba'im shana ve'aste asa chodesh ve'echad lachodesh diber Moshe el bnei Yisrael chechol asher tziva Adonai Oto Alehem.
Beautifully done, Brandy. Nice, nice. Jeffrey, would you please read the English for us?
These are the words that Moses addressed to all Israel on the other side of the Jordan, through the wilderness in the Arabah near Suf, between Paran and Tophel, Lavan, Kazaroth, and Dizahab. It is 11 days from Horeb to Kadesh Barnea by the Mount Seirut. It was in the 40th year, on the first day of the 11th month, that Moses addressed the Israelites in accordance with the instructions the Lord had given him for them.
So what's interesting is, as the book of Deuteronomy opens up, we are a month at the end of the 40 years. In 1 month, the Israelites will be crossing to the land of Eretz Israel. So the book of Numbers begins at the second year of the Exodus and ends at the 39th year. And here we are 39 years and 11 months. And there's this gap of 39 years in the middle, which is interesting. Okay, Michael, would you give me your Hebrew name, please?
Malki.
Yeah. Michael Wallach, you don't have a yahrzeit or anything. No. Michael Novi, please.
Malkiel Yisrael ben Yoel Be'etul.
שבח אבותינו אברהם יצחק ויעקב אמותינו שרה רבקה רחל ולאה ויברך וירפא את מלכיאל ישראל בן יואל ואתל בעבור שאנחנו מתפללים עבורו קדוש ברוך הוא ימלך מעליו להזיקו לאפותו וישלח לו מהרה רפואה שלמה ותוך שאר חולי ישראל רפואת הנפש ורפואת הגוף Shabbat Yimelizo Kufra Kabbalah Washtaba Galawidman Karid Venoma Michael, I hope that you didn't have any, nasty symptoms and this is as good as you were.
Yep. At one point, I had enough of a fever on one day that I got tested and got a clean bill of health because actually the fever disappeared even before I took the test, but I thought I ought to continue with it.
Yeah.
So
excellent.
Other than the only thing that the pandemic has done to me is the isolation and the fact that I'm working considerably harder from home than I ever did. Everything is a crisis. Once somebody decides that we're going to issue some kind of published guidance to give people relief, that's got to happen yesterday, even if it's decided today. And so the amount of time that I've spent across the room here at my computer trying to work on that stuff is sky high.
Well. God give you peace, strength, and wisdom to negotiate the time of the computer and the time in front of the television or whatever else that you might be doing.
No, it's basically computer time for work and FaceTime and Hangouts with three magnificent kids and their own kids. I mean,
Wow. There you are.
they couldn't be better to me and Allison than they are being. It's phenomenal.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Tell us one thing you learned from your father, please.
Basically, to think before you do something. He, if you sort of look at the entrance to the off the parking lot to Chizuk Amuno, there are people there on that big plaque because they gave money. There are people there because they are rabbinic leaders. And my dad simply was, when they thanked him, they referred to him as their punctilious lawyer. And so he worked an enormous amount for Chizuk Amuno, all pro bono, and was really the, couldn't happen without the money, but I think you would have had to have somebody as good as him at the real estate law to make it happen if he didn't do it.
Beautiful. Was he born in America?
Yes, in Suffolk, Virginia.
Wow.
He says that during the summer they never wore shoes. There's a couple of pictures of my two of my uncles dressed up as Indians with school age, getting barefoot. My dad explained, and we still have actually a shkita knife that belonged to my grandfather because he studied shkita enough so that chickens that he killed for his family were okay for the family to eat, but he couldn't do it for anybody other than his own family. And my father said, until they got to Baltimore, the only beef he had ever eaten was basically pickled in brine because it had to be shipped down from either Baltimore or Richmond. But my grandfather could arrange for them to have fresh chicken meat because he had studied and had the knife with which to slaughter his own chickens, and that sort of hung in my parents' apartment for quite a while until some rather fussy friend of my mother showed up and was horrified at the idea of a knife hanging on the wall.
All right. What's your father's name, Michael? Yoel Ben?
Yoel Ben Moshe Abraham,
Bluma. Emale Rachamim, שוכן במרומים, אמצי מנוחה נכונה תחת כנפי השכינה במעלות, קדושים וטהורים כזוהר הקיא מזהירים את נשמת יואל בן משה אברהם ובלומה שהלך לעולמו בגן עדן תהא מנוחתו. אנא ברחמים הסתירהו בסתר כנפיך לעולמים וצרו בצרור החיים את נשמתו. אדוני הוא נחלתו וינוח בשלום על משכבו ונאמר Amen. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, Moshe.
Sandy, you will please, only if you want to, Sandy. Nobody is forcing you to do anything.
Thank you.
Aliyah, I'm sorry?
Thank you. I'm ready.
Yes? Second Aliyah, verse 4.
Acharei hakoti.
Hakoto.
Hakoto et Sichon melech Amori asher yoshev b'cheshbon ve'et Og melech Bashan asher yoshev b'ashtarot ve'edrei ve'ever hayarden be'eretz Moab ho'il Moshe be'er et haTorah hazot lemor Adonai Eloheinu diber eleinu b'chorev lemor Rav lachem shevet bahar hazeh penu usu lachem uvau har ha'emori ve'el kol shechenav ba'arava ahar ubashfela ubanegev ubachov hayam eretz haknani ba'alvanon ad hanahar hagadol nahar parat.
Beautiful. Jeffrey, English, please.
After he after he had defeated Sihon, king of the Amorites, who dwelt in Heshbon, and King Og of Bashan, who dwelt at Ashtaroth and Edrei. On the other side of the Jordan, in the land of Moab, Moses undertook to expound this teaching. He said, "The Lord our God spoke to us at Horeb, saying, 'You have stayed long enough at this mountain. Start out and make your way to the hill country of the Amorites, and to all their neighbors in the Arabah, the hill country, Shephelah, the Negev, the sea coast, the land of the Canaanites, and the Lebanon, as far as the great river, the river Euphrates.'"
Beautiful. Okay. Carl, what is Dad's Hebrew name, please? Can't hear a thing you're saying.
Yeah, that unmute me. I think he just did it. Yitzhak ben Yaakov and Esther.
And Esther?
Yes.
All right, would you tell us one thing you learned from your father, Carl?
A couple things were to have a vision and be true to your word.
And what did he do professionally?
He worked in the federal government and he was a controller for manpower for the labor department.
Wow. Okay. Michael, if he'd been alive, he'd be a good worker. Handsman. Very good. So this is Yitzchak ben Yaakov Esther.
Yes.
Al malei rachamim shochin b'amronim אמצעי מנוחה נכונה תחת כנפי השכינה במעלות קדושים וטהורים כזוהר הרקיע מזהירים את נשמת יצחק בן יעקב ואסתר שהלך לעולמו בגן עדן תהי מנוחתו. אנא ברחמים הסתירהו בסתר כנפיך לעולמים וצרור בצרור החיים את נשמתו אדוני הוא נחלתו וינוח בשלום על משכבו ונאמר Thank you, Carl.
Thank you.
And the third Aliyah, Ruth Ann Kaufman, continues to read on the verse number 8.
Re'eh natati lifnechem et haaretz Ba'u orshu et haaretz asher nishba Adonai la'avotechem la'Abraham li'Yitzchak u'l'Yaakov la'ted lahem u'l'Zarah machareihem Ba'amar alechem ba'et hahi lemor le'uchal levadi se'et etchem Adonai Elohechem hirba etchem v'hinechem hayem kechochavei hashamayim la'rev Adonai Elohei avotechem Yosef Alechem Kachem Elef Pa'amim Vivarechem Ka'asher Diber Lachem.
Excellent. Jeffrey, please.
See, I place the land at your disposal. Go, take possession of the land that the Lord swore to your fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, to assign to them and to their heirs after them. Thereupon I said to you, I cannot bear the burden of you by myself. The Lord your God has multiplied you until you are today as numerous as the stars in the sky. May the Lord, the God of your fathers, increase your numbers 1,000-fold and bless you as he promised you.
Beautiful. Interesting. According to what we read, the Israelites were only 11 days from Mount Sinai. And yet they spent 40 years in the desert. I thank the Torah readers. And Ruth Ann, tell us a little about the yahrzeit you have today.
It's my great-grandfather, and the only reason I even know anything and know his Hebrew name is because my mother was still getting yahrzeit postcard from my grandfather's old shul.
And where was that?
He died. He never made to this country. He died in Ukraine, in Lutsk. I was on Jewish Gen. The only thing I could find was something that he was something about hardware. So he must have had a hardware store. That's all I know. Except his name. I know his Hebrew name.
Okay. His Hebrew name and his father's name.
Yaakov ben Yisrael Yitzchak.
המלא רחמים שוכן במרומים, אמצי מנוחה נכונה תחת כנפי השכינה, במעלות קדושים וטהורים, זוהר רקיע מזהירים את נשמת יעקב בן ישראל יצחק, שהלך לעולמו בגן עדן תהי מנוחתו. אנא ברחמים, אסתירהו בסתר כנפיך לעולמים, וצור בצבא החיים את נשמתו. אדוני הוא נחלתו, וינוח בשלום על משכבו, ונאמר Amen. So then he didn't come to America. Which of his children did?
My grandfather and my grandfather's two sisters. His wife came.
Okay.
My great grandmother came.
Because he had passed already. I guess.
Yeah, he was gone probably before World War I.
Yeah. All right. I thank the Torah readers. Beautifully done. Let's read on page 570 at the last line, please. Ruth Ann, lead us in the chanting.
Hashivenu Adonai Elecha v'nashuva Hadish Yameinu Chodesh Yameinu Kekedem.
We rise, Chatzi Kaddish, 572.
Yitkadav Yikadash Me Rabbah.
Amen.
Yama Divra Chirute, Vyamlich Malchute, B'chayechon Vyamechon, B'chayedecho Beit Yisrael, Ba'agalav Izman Kari V'Maru Amen. Yehesh Me Rabba Me Barak Le'olam Olam Me'omaya. Yitbarak V'yishtabak V'yitbar V'yitramam V'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei kedusha b'rechu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata damiran v'yamaha v'yimabruhu amen.
We continue with the silent reading of the Amidah, page 574. 574.
You don't have time.
We do. You going somewhere tonight, Ruthann?
Yeah.
Just
But
go ahead.
you won't be finished this service till the time before dark.
When is Havdalah?
It's
Bruce?
10 minutes according to the schedule.
I
8:55.
think the schedule is wrong. The schedule is
Not based on last week and all.
It was 8:30.
so it's
Yeah.
8:25. But
It's slowly
Hayek
getting
Kedusha.
earlier. It was at 9:03, then it was.
Let's do a Hayek Kedusha with that. We are on 574. We recite in unison and conclude silently.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor V'Nerah El Elyon Kamel Chasadim Tovim V'Konei HaKol V'Zocher Chastei Havot Maybe go well livnei b'neihem l'ma'an shemo b'ahava melech ezer v'kedem Moshe Magen Baruch atah Adonai Magen Abraham v'voked Sarah atah gibor le'olam Adonai mechayem etim atarab lehoshia mechalkel chayim b'chesed mechayem etim b'rachamim rabihim Samech noflim b'rofecho limu matir asurihim Mekayem emanatol l'shenei afar Michamelcha ba'al gevurah Demita melach Melech me'mid mechayeh matzmeach Yeshua V'ne'aman atol hachayek metim Baruch atah Adonai mechayeh hametim.
576. Nekadesh et shimcha ba'olam, Shem shema v'shem v'do v'shem ma'om, Tevulian v'yechav, kazil z'v'yamam.
Nekadesh et shimcha ba'olam, Kishem shemakti shemo b'shmei marom, Kakatu v'yad v'yechav, V'kara zel ze v'yamar.
Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzvaot, Melech ha'aretz kevodo le'umatam.
Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzvaot, Melech ha'aretz kevodo le'umatam, Baruch Yameru.
Baruch kevod Adonai nimkomo.
Baruch kavod Adonai mimkamo, B'direi kodshecho katuv le'mor.
Imloch Adonai le'olam, Elohai Yachzion le'dodo, hallelujah.
Imloch Adonai le'olam, Elohai Yitzyon le'dor, hallelujah. Ledor vador nagid god lecha lenetzach nitzachim. Kedushak techa hanaktish v'shivacha Eloheinu mipinu lo yamush le'olam vahed. Ki el melech gadol v'kadosh ata Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh.
Samech naflim v'afech olamot yaseh k'modesh nefesh. Okay, Ruth Ann, Kaddish Shalem, page 596.
Yikada v'yikada shemei rabba.
Amen.
Yama divrach yirite v'yamlich malchite b'chayecha v'yamecha v'chayedecho be'Yisrael v'agalav izman karib yimaru. Amen. Yesh me rabba mevarach le'olam olam me'amaya yitbarach. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitbar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitala v'yitala shemei kudusha B'richu leila mimko birchata v'shirata tishbachata v'nakamata damiran b'yama v'yimaru. Amen. Dikabat salotan uva utahan decha Yisrael kadama v'hen v'shmaya v'yimaru. Amen. Yesh lama rabba min shmaya v'chayim aleinu v'yalka Yisrael v'yimaru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mramav. Say shalom, Aleinu v'yalko Yisrael, Imeru, Amen. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'tet gedula liyoter b'reshit, shelo hasanu k'goyei haratzot, elo samanu k'mishpachot hadam Shalom chelkenu kahem, v'kaharaleinu kechohamanam, v'hanachnu karim, v'mishtachavim hemodim, lifnei melech malchei hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Ki hamachut shalcha hi olamei atimlach bechavod, kakatu b'toratecha Adonai yimlach le'olam vahed. V'nehemar v'haya Adonai le'melech al kol haaretz. Bayam hahu yeh Adonai echad. Ushema, 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 Echad, Ushema, Echad.
We recall our loved ones who are in our hearts, in our lives, and whose yortzeit is today, the 26th of Tammuz, Shabbat, July 18th, 2020. The following names are listed in our perpetual memorials: Meyer Cohen, Bernice Cohn, Harry Freilich, Samuel Lesser, Solomon Miller, Julius Novi, Morris Silverberg, Howard Wagenheim. Yortzeit and Mourner's Kaddish.
Jacob Matziover.
Jacob Matziover. Yortzeit and Mourner's Kaddish, page 600. Yid Gadal, Yid Kadash,
Rabba. B'chayechon v'yamechon v'chayei d'chol Beit Israel. Ba'agala v'zman kariv yimaru amen.
Amen. Yesh me'olam
Rabba
v'barach
Marach le'olam alom le'amaya. Yit barach v'yit tabak v'yit ba'ar v'yit ramam v'yit naseh. V'yit adar v'yit aleh v'yit alal shemei d'kudesha b'rechu. Le'ela mimko berchata v'shirata. Tushbachata v'nechemata damiran b'alma v'yimaru amen.
Amen.
Yehi shlama rabba min shmaya v'chayim aleinu v'yalko Yisrael v'yimaru amen.
Amen.
Say shalom b'ramav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'yalko Yisrael v'yimaru amen.
Amen. Thank you, Ruth Ann, for a beautiful davening. I just take a moment to make my case. It is Shabbat, no theater tickets, no movie tickets, no sports arrangements. Where are you going on Shabbat once a week to have the what I think is the beauty and majesty for me to hear Ruth Ann recite it's a very short Amidah. So we'll be maybe 5 minutes later, It's Shabbat. Where are we rushing? All right, I rest my case. Yifat, would you lead us in the Arvit service? We're on page 200. We rise.
והוא רחום יכפר עוון ולא ישחית, והרבה להשיב אפו ולא יאיר כל חמתו. אדוני הושיע, המלך יעננו ביום קוראנו. ברכו את אדוני המבורך.
Baruch Adonai לעולם ועד.
ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד.
May be seated.
אל חי וקיים, תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני,
Baruch Shemo.
המרי ברבים.
Amen.
ואהבתך תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו ישראל.
Amen. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך.
Page 202.
למען ירבו ימיכם וימי בניכם על האדמה אשר נשבע אדוני לאבותיכם לתת להם בימי השמיים על הארץ.
ויאמר
אומר אדוני אל משה לאמור, דבר אל בני ישראל ואמרת עליהם, ועשו להם ציצית על כנפי בגדיהם לדורותם, ונתנו על ציצית הכנף ותרתחלת, והיה לכם לציצית, וראיתם אותו, וזכרתם את כל מצוות אדוני, ועשיתם אותם, ולא תטורו אחרי לבבכם ואחרי עיניכם, אשר אתם זונים אחריהם, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם, אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים, אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם. ומלכותו ברצון קיבלו עליהם, משה ובני ישראל לחנו שירה בשמחה רבה, ואמרו כולם, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורא תהילות עושה פלא. מלכותך ובניך בוקע ים לפני משה, ענו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. ונאמר, כי פדה אדוני את יעקב, וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל.
Amen. Page 206.
שמור צאתנו ובואנו לחיים ולשלום מעתה ועד עולם, ברוך אתה אדוני, אומר עמו ישראל לעד.
אמן, ברנה לעולם אמן ואמן.
כי המלכות שלך היא ולעול מעט תמלוך בכבוד, כי אין לנו מלך אלא אתה, ברוך אתה אדוני. המלך בכבודו תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד, ועל כל מעשיו.
Amen. חצי קדיש, we rise 208.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה,
אמן.
ועלמד יברוך חירותי וימליך מלכותי בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי בכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן.
יהי שמי
יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתעלה שמי דקודשה לעולם עם כל ברכתה ושירתה ושבחתה ונחמתה דאמירן בעלמא ואמרו אמן.
Amidah, page 210 to 220. Please remember to include the top paragraph on 212 for Motzei Shabbat. top paragraph of 212. Yeah. יפעת קדיש שלם, בבקשה.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה,
אמן.
ואלמד יברך חירותה, וימליך מלכותה, בחייכון וביומכון, ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב, ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך, לעולם והלוויה.
יתברך.
יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתעלה שמי דקודשיו בריאו לעילם עם כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה תמירן בעלמא ואמרו אמן. תתקבל צלות הון ובאות הון דכל ישראל קודם אבון דשמיא ואמרו אמן. יש למה רבה מן שמיא וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן.
The Havdalah on page, Havdalah is on page 700. And as Maimonides, the Rambam tells us clearly, Havdalah is Kiddush. And we have the privilege of consecrating the coming week with Rosh Chodesh Av. For what it's worth, Mishenichnas Av mema'atim besimcha. And so we welcome the coming week and the month. Please God, watch over us. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri hagafen. Amen. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם בורא מיני ושמים. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם בורא מאורי האש. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם המבדיל בין קודש לחול בין אור לחושך בין ישראל לעמים בין יום השבת לששת ימי המעשה. ברוך אתה אדוני המבדיל בין קודש לחול. מבדיל בין קודש לחול. חטאותינו ימחול, זרענו וחסדנו ירבה כחול, והכוכבים בלילה. שבוע טוב, חגות אבוך, שבוע טוב, אליהו במהרה בימינו יבוא אלינו משיח בן דוד, משיח בן דוד, אליהו הנביא, אליהו התשבי, אליהו הגלעדי. Gut gebench woch, Mazel Parnosse, Hatzlocha, Gesundten, Mazel. עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל.
שלא עשנו כגויי ארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות אדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגרם עלינו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים מודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ככתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו
Toda Yifat, Toda. We recall our loved ones who are in our hearts and lives, whose yahrzeit is today, the 27th of Tammuz, Sunday, July 19th, 2020. The following names are listed in our perpetual memorials at Chizuk Amuno. Helen Bennett, Abraham Duke, Annie Goldstein, Jerome Hart, Harry Hindler, Jenny Leavitt, Raymond Levin, Eugene Love, Max Resnick, Alan Rosenthal, Samuel Sachs, Sidney Sachs, Solomon Wiener. Jeffrey, any other names? No. Yahrzeit and Mourner's Kaddish, page 226, Yifat bevakasha.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה.
אמן.
ועלמא דברך יראותי, וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון, ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב, ואמרו אמן.
אמן.
שמי רבה מברך לעלם ולעלמי עלמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריך לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דאמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יהא שלמה רבה מן שמיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן.
אמן.
עושה שלום במרומיו הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן.
Amen. תודה רבה, יפעת, יופי של תפילה. To the minion, I apologize that I was wanting to hear Ruth Ann do a repetition of the Amidah on Shabbat afternoon.
It's not even.
I hope you forgive me. We are 15 minutes after the time, and so with that, we wish you a sweet week. Reminder that Wednesday is Rosh Chodesh Menachem Av, and 9 days later is Tisha B'Av. And tomorrow we meet at 9:30. So you get to stay up a little later and watch the Patriots and the Steelers fight it out for the Super Bowl.